Welcome to the Creative Brew, helping you keep your creative juices brewing. We're giving out chunks of insight, motivation, and practicality for your creative journey. We've got some great partners with the Creative Brew. First of all, Panels Comics and Coffee Bar here in beautiful Oceanside, California, right off of Mission Avenue. They've got some of the hottest graphic novels and comics out right now. They also have a wide assortment of merchandise, toys, as well as back issue vintage comic books, and that I'm sure has some hidden gems in there. If you mention the Creative Brew, you'll get 10% off of your next purchase. You can also check them out on social media at Panels Coffee or go to panelscoffee.com. My next partner is Elevate Coffee Trading, and if you appreciate specialty coffee, enjoy outdoor adventure, and love helping elevate the lives of children around the world, then you're going to love Elevate Coffee Trading. Their mission is to extract hope through love, coffee, and adventures. There's free shipping in the United States, and every bag of coffee helps sponsor health and education for children in coffee-producing countries and in areas of need in the United States. You can use promo code ELEVATE21 on your next order, and you can follow their journey on social media at Elevate Coffee Trading. Or you can visit online at elevatecoffeetrading.com, and let's start extracting hope together. Another partner of mine is Astropad. And if you're a digital creator like me and you constantly use your iPad Pro, you can actually use Astropad to change your graphics tablet into another professional graphics tablet. So you can use Photoshop, full versions of Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, all your favorite programs right on your iPad Pro or graphics tablet. This has been an awesome tool for me because I'm always having to do some fine-tuning, editing, repainting, recoloring on various design projects or working on logos. Astropad is a huge asset for me. For teachers and students and educators, they actually have a great deal going on right now. This is an annual subscription, so it's a subscription app, but it's been a huge tool for me, and I don't know what I would do without Astropad. So you can check them out at Astropad app or go to astropad.com. And my last sponsor is the cobo.pod. The cobo.pod is a boutique video and audio production studio based in Oceanside, California. And if you're a podcaster, vlogger, content creator, you should really come by and check out the venue for yourself. Anytime that I bring in a guest, they're amazed by the setup, amazed by the quality, the production value. Like I said, a new episode of the Creative Brew, giving you insights on your creative journey. Today, we have a special guest and someone that I've recently read his book, Do It Anyway. Very enlightening book, great book. I love all the stories, and it's one of those where I love books where it's not one of those long-winded books, but it's one of those where it's
Yeah.
point. I love the takeaways, and that's huge for me. So I love going back and sort of reviewing a lot of the takeaways from that chapter. As far as with the book, when did you have the idea of sort of finally sitting down and writing this book?
I had the idea a long time ago, but there was just no time. When I was coaching, there was no way I could add time to do it. And then really the only good thing about COVID was all of a sudden I had time, and so did the author, because nothing else was going on. We were shut down here. And so, we really got on the book and got it done about 6 months later. Part of it was done, but yeah, man, that was kind of the push. Let's just get this done, and glad we did.
Great, that's great. So I know personally about your story, but really going through the book, I was just amazed at all the stories. Especially, I'm always amazed at a lot of the coaches that maybe they started with nothing with a certain program and then built it up to what it is. Those are some of the ones that I enjoy, because I'm like, how did you even do this? And it's sort of amazing reading through the book. But just with the sport of wrestling, what is it giving you from and I guess it's really in all aspects of your life. What is the sport of wrestling giving you?
Hey, man, I was the smallest kid in school. Gave me confidence. I had a brother that showed me wrestling moves out in the yard. There was no youth programs back then when I grew up. And my dad got me out of school to take me to see my brother compete in the middle school. And that was one of the coolest events I had ever seen. Of course, I was 7 years old, and it was something I wanted to do. And I learned a lot of life lessons through wrestling for sure. Fatigue, what that feels like when you're really tired, disappointment, picking yourself up after disappointment. That's hard, but that's really important, and especially when it's hard, and that's a life lesson that stayed with me to this day.
In that that first initial championship. So for people that don't know, and just reading those books, sort of knowing his story, he is the head coach at was the head coach at Wartburg College in Iowa, 10-time national championship coach. Uh, if you're in the wrestling community, you know him. But for a lot of my audience that's in the sort of outside of the realm of that, this is a very inspiring figure, very motivating figure, to look up and sort of see his story and see how he pretty much started with nothing and turned it to turn it into what it is now with Wartburg. He's got a book out. If you hadn't got a chance to read it, awesome book. Actually got gifted this book from one of my other friends, and I read it, and I'm like, this is unbelievable. Do It Anyway by Jim Miller with Kyle Klingman, winning that initial championship. What were your feelings after starting with a program like Wartburg and then building it up to into the program, as far as what it is? What was like that initial feeling when you won that first championship? I know I was reading it from the book and sort of getting your emotions, but personally for you, like what was that feeling finally getting to the mountaintop?
That was an amazing scenario that evening, and it was a dream fulfilled, and I had coached 20 years, not at Wartburg, but high school and then Division I school before that happened. So, when you win 10 national titles, a lot of people are like, damn, 10 national titles. Like, dude, I was 43 before I won the first one, right? It was a journey. That was a hell of a journey just to win the first one. It was relief mostly. Me and my wife cried for sure. And on the phone, I was way on the East Coast, but it was cool for the whole community and the school. School had never won a national title in anything in the history of the college. We had competed in athletics like 60 years in 20 sports without ever winning a national title. So that changed everything. It changed everything because holy cow, we can do this, and people start thinking at a higher level. And, in the next 22 years, now this is crazy. In the next 22 years, the same college won 22 national titles after not winning any in 60 years. Just because, I mean, people, and they ask how that happened. It's like, I don't know, man. I think it's just because we thought we could. We're sitting there looking at the evidence. There's the trophy, man. And other people start raising their level. When one part of the organization starts exceeding expectations, a lot of times other parts of the organization will do the same thing. Doesn't have to be athletics, but it
Yeah,
was it was a very cool scenario.
that's great. Yeah, that's I sort of I think they talk about the Bannister effect, where he ran that, broke that 4 minute mile.
Yes.
After that, everybody just started doing it.
Yes.
I think people just need to see evidence of that, and see
Yeah.
it.
I mean, they were saying it can't be done medically. It can't be done. You can't run a 4 minute mile. But then when he did, shoot, everybody, all of a sudden we had a whole bunch of people doing it, which is cool. That's cool, man.
Um,
How you think has everything to do with how you perform and what you attain.
oh,
How
that's
you think.
yeah,
And I spent a lot of time trying to help my athletes think at a higher level. Because if you don't think you can, you're probably not gonna it's probably not gonna happen.
yeah. Now that you bring up a interesting topic. Do you feel, and I know from reading your book and even the way you're talking right now, I know you're really big on getting them in the right mindset. And even from a leadership standpoint, having yourself in the right mindset to be able to perform as a coach, be able to perform as an athlete. Do you feel like now you feel like coaches are still lacking on that, or even athletes too, as far as that having that correct mindset?
Yeah, I think you need to put that as part of I try to put that as part of the practice every day. it might be just a couple minutes that you're talking about, But how does that feel? Like, for instance, I remember early on, I'd be like, how's that feel if our team got called up to get the trophy? Our team. What's that feel like? What's that look like? I wanted them to think in their mind. I wanted to put a video right in here that wasn't there at the time. Because when I got there, we hadn't even won a conference title in 13 years. We hadn't won a national title in anything. And so, but once you start getting that in your mind, man, that you start seeing it, it's more likely you got a chance for that to happen. Excuse me. And I think that's critical. Whether it's, hey, being successful as a manager, being successful in your business, or being successful athletics, academically, whatever it might be, you got to work on that part. That part's got to be there too. Because a lot of times people will see other people being successful in their mind. Other people on the podium, other teams getting called up to get the trophy. What if that was us? What if that was us? A lot of times that's the first time that picture ever came into their mind, and it's never thought in those terms because it hadn't happened before.
Yeah, I think you start asking yourself, and that's great. I think once you start asking yourself more empowering questions, like what if, like, why not us? Why, like, we could be on that podium. I think it causes certain things to sort of transform, and you start thinking at a different level. Like, wait a minute, like, our story has been like, we haven't won a conference title. Like, who's to say we can't do this? Who's to say we can't win a national title or win a conference championship that next year? And I think, like I said, obviously what you're doing, what you did with Wartburg was evident as far as changing that mindset, and changing that story to, okay, this is who we could actually be, instead of feeling like, well, we're not going to see, it's not us because we hadn't seen it yet. We have to start asking better questions. So I think you nailed that right on the head.
I can even remember telling that first group, is there a rule out there that we can't win a conference championship? I mean, is there some law that somebody made that we can't win the national championship? I mean, hey, there ain't no law, man. We can't. But it was almost seemed like they thought there's no way, just because it hadn't happened before in a long time. But that's really not a very good reason why you can't, because it hasn't happened in a long time. That doesn't mean you can't. There's no rule, man. Anyway, I tried to, some of my stuff might have been silly at the time, but it makes you think. And then, like you said, why not us, man? Why not us? Why not our team? And when you start getting to that point, your chances go up.
That's great. And I think it even
chances go up that you could be getting called up.
Yeah. I think even like having that first championship team, and then you get the expectation, like, people win that national championship, and then you, like I said, you see people doing it, and then the expectations are like, hey, this is what's expected of us now. That's awesome. There was one little excerpt that I actually underlined. Is the connection still good?
I think we're doing better. I don't know. Have you noticed anything?
No. I think we're good right now. There was.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, there was actually one little excerpt. There's a bunch of stuff I underlined in your book because it resonated with me. But the one thing that I saw from your takeaway was, don't let the last disappointment affect the next opportunity. And that was one that I underlined. I actually talked to my wrestling class about that. For that little excerpt, what does that feel for you? I mean, I know that sort of hit you a little harder than others at times. What do you feel about that statement that you put? Don't let the last disappointment affect the next opportunity.
We all got situations, and you can use it if you're a salesman with calls. Like if I'm calling recruits, how many times that I heard, I mean, probably for every one that said, yeah, I'm coming, coach, 5 had said, no, I ain't coming. I'm going somewhere else, you know. You can't let that disappointment from that someone you're not getting or something that's not happening come into your next phone call or the next event you have, you know, and quit holding on to it. Let it go, man. And I actually had told my staff, hey, if you see me, like for instance, a bad call by an official, man, I can remember holding on to a bad call for hours at a time. I mean, mad at an official for hours, man. That ain't doing your team any good. Let it go. And, you know, it's kind of funny. That happened a number of times. And the next day, Sunday, I'm watching the video and I'm thinking, you know what, that call wasn't that bad. You know, I was just so I was just so involved in the match, so emotionally involved. But you know, let it go. And you know, what would it happen if you're the coach and your athlete dropped an easy touchdown pass or missed an easy layup? What do you want them to do? You want them to let it go. You want them to let it go. That's what you need to do too as the leader. Because if whatever your example is going to reflect to your athletes or to your employees or whatever it might be. And so, you know, and the better I got at letting it go, the better I got, if that makes sense. The better I got at letting it go, the better as a coach I got. Because on to the next thing, man, because you're not helping your athletes pouting or yelling at the ref or whatever it might be. But you're right. Uh, I'm going to give you a quick story. I was at the Olympic Training Center, and this is where this came up, is when the guy was using the Michael Jordan as the example, the Michael Jordan, and he was a rookie with the Bulls at the time, but no, a lot of people didn't even know who he was in that seminar. But and we said, give me an example, and he goes, okay, here it is. Give me the ball, miss. Give me the ball, miss, miss. Give me the ball, miss. Give me the ball, make, win the game. That's Michael Jordan, right? Missing missing 5, 6 shots in a row had no effect on 7 for him. Most people, you miss 2, 3, oh man, 4, 5, oh man, I'm terrible. You know, and they just keep going down, 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 down. That wasn't how he did it. He got rid of the negative. It was like they bounced off his head. He didn't let them get in. And so, yeah, man, don't let the last disappointment, like you missed 2 or 3 shots or whatever it is, affect the next opportunity coming your way, because it's right around the corner, man. That's how I always picture it in my mind. That next opportunity is coming right around the corner. Let me be ready for it. Not over there pouting in the corner because I'm mad at the ref or whatever it might be, you know, or I didn't get the recruit, or, you know, be ready. And I became a lot better coach when I embraced that.
That's great. Now, you've been one of the very few that has had a son win a national title, and you be able to coach him. What was the emotions after he won that national title for you?
Man, I was a wreck during his match, before his match. I don't even hardly remember it. I mean, luckily, he was a lot more confident and everything than I was. Man, I'm not kidding you, man. I about hyperventilated. But he went out and took care of business. You know, he won by 8 points in the final. He took care of business, but what a thrill. I mean, probably the highest moment of time. If you just picked out one little moment of time in my career, it was your son winning the national championship. You know, yeah, it's your athlete, but it's also your son. And man, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But every guy that won a national title, and some of them that didn't, have still wrestled their butt off. I loved it. I loved every moment of it. But you're right, he did. And you know, and the cool thing about it for him, he wasn't a blue chip athlete coming out of high school, anything like that. He worked his way up, and he earned everything he got. So it was very satisfying to see that happen, and it really made his mom happy too. So that was cool.
That's the most important.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, quick shout out real quick. We are here live at Panels Comics and Coffee Bar here in beautiful Oceanside, California. been a great sponsor of the Creative Brew for years now. So they are a comic. They specialize in comics and coffee. So if anyone's in the area, check it out. If you mention the podcast, you'll get a 10% off your next purchase. So you can check them out at panelscoffee.com or go to Panels Coffee on Instagram or Facebook. So just a quick shout out to my sponsor there. So we're back. For anyone that's been listening, we're here with Jim Miller. In the book, they call you Jim Boy. People still call you Jim Boy.
Mill Boy.
Mill Boy. That's what it was. Mill Boy. Oh, yeah, that's right.
My high school coach gave me that nickname 50 years ago. I don't know. Sometimes things just stick, right?
So we are here with 10-time national championship coach with Wartburg College in Iowa, Jim Miller. And so yeah, we're just sharing his story, sharing a lot of his insights, talking about his book, Do It Anyway, that's out now and available online or in various other channels. So if you get a chance and you're really wanting to get the mindset of a coach, please check it out. And like I said, I still find myself rereading through certain excerpts. Going back to your book, Do It Anyway, there was one that actually hit me pretty hard. Was when I guess you were in high school. You was coaching at the high school, and there was I guess he was pretty much like the coach's assistant. I forgot his name. And he was I guess he was pretty much, obviously he wasn't able to wrestle. I think he had some kind of ailment, but just having his energy and enthusiasm and wanting the opportunity, like he was wishing he was in that opportunity to be able to compete and wrestle. That was the one. That hit me. I was like, man, that's something where, I think a lot of athletes just don't, they don't tell themselves like how much ingratitude like they have the opportunity to do certain things that some people wish they just had the opportunity to do. And you get to go out there and compete. That was one that, like, man, that hit me. What was, what can you describe like how he was like just in practice?
Yeah, his name was Brad Peterson. He was the
Brad,
manager. Yeah, he had muscular dystrophy, and there was very little things he could do. He had an electric wheelchair, but he blew the whistle. He told me, "Coach, I run practice. I blow the whistle." And what a great kid! What a great kid! And I had asked the former coach who's the key kids were on that team, and he left me a note saying, "Hey, make sure you let Brad Peterson be the wrestling manager." And I'm thinking, well, wrestling manager? I thought I asked about the key kids. And but he was an inspiration, man. And by the end of that season, I realized this young man in a wheelchair, muscular dystrophy, is one of the key kids on this team, because he was an inspiration to not just the wrestling team, the school itself. And so, yeah, he passed away 5 months later after I met him before wrestling season, but he was a big factor. I'm still talking about him today, 40 some years later. And so, yeah, he was one of the most inspirational kids I ever coached.
That's great. That's great. So right now, I mean, what's, obviously you're in the speaking, industry now, doing speaking engagements, promoting your book. You're head of the was it the Dan Gable Museum in Iowa, I believe.
Yeah, Dan Gable Wrestling Museum, National Wrestling Hall of Fame.
What things, and obviously you've been through the whole gamut, but what's been the toughest thing you've done recently, or it could be ever in your life that's helped change the perception and how you view life?
Later in my career, I think I was 66, switching gears and going to be a director of the Dan Gable Museum. That was usually most of the people my age, they're retiring. I'm just starting a new career, which is cool for me. I get up every day fired up. And number one, I love wrestling because we're working with different parts of wrestling, from little kids to high school to college to international to boys to girls. And our girls wrestling is really exploding, so that's been fun. And I'm a grandfather of 5 girls now too, and so that's been that's been a challenge. When I love it, and when I get together, but man, I gotta they wear me out pretty. I got to really get my energy level up when I go hang out with them. But that's been a blast.
That's awesome. Yeah, being a granddad, it definitely changes some things, especially
Heck yeah.
with girls. Oh Lord,
Oh yeah.
I'll be praying
Woo.
for you on that one.
Okay.
Um, so right now, what's inspiring you right now? What's sort of pushing you to get up every day and just be the best version that you could be today? What's inspiring you
I
right
think
now?
just helping people, man. I love helping people, and I'm doing that in the museum, but also motivational speaking that I do. I love doing that because, whether it's business or athletics, whatever organization it is, man, you're trying to help them. You're trying to maybe inspire them to some degree, help them raise their level of thought, so they can get better. And so I love doing that. And I also love just all the different athletes I coached. And you can imagine 37 years, I get calls weekly just from many of my athletes that, they're trying to get better, their teams and so forth. So they're asking for advice and help. And I love doing that. I love helping them try to, because sometimes, hey man, asking for help is a big deal, no matter what you're doing. Sometimes that answer is right next to you, or maybe it's just a phone call. Pick up the phone and ask, man, because sometimes you feel like you're beating your head against the wall trying to figure something out, and someone right down the hallway might have that answer. I mean, go in and say, hey man, you got a minute? And dude, it's great. And relationships get stronger doing that when you're helping each other. The teams get stronger and so forth. So, but that's what gets me up every day. How can I make a difference for somebody, whether it's one of my athletes or a company that I'm speaking to or whatever it might be.
Yeah, that's great. Going into creative tips, and this is something I ask all my guests, and this could be a tip for literally anything: wrestling, life, coaching. Um, what is a creative tip or tips that you can provide our audience?
You mean something like some of my quotes, some of my things I talk about?
Yeah, it could be anything
Okay,
across the
it's
board.
like this, man. It's like, hey, man, you can have when I'm talking about people want talking about getting results, higher results. Usually, it comes down to something like, hey, man, you can have results or you can have excuses, but you can't have both. Pick one, because that's usually after you talk a little bit, you got both. You're talking about people talking about some excuses why it's not happening, or you're talking about, hey, man, I really want these results. It's one or the other. You can't have results and excuses, man. So you pick one and focus on. And I realize sometimes that's hard, man. And but you just dig in and go. You dig in and go. Do it anyway. There's another thing, man. Hey, whether you feel like it or not is irrelevant if it's important to your success. I mean, think about it. Here's what I want to get done. Here's what I need to do. Then you do it anyway, whether you feel like it or not, whether it's working out, whether it's doing extra work, whatever it might be. Sometimes you just got to do it anyway. And sometimes the most important time to do it anyway is especially when you don't feel like it. You know what I mean? That's some of the key times when you really is the most important time to do it anyway, because very few people are on that road. Most people don't do it if they really don't feel like it. And that's, you want to separate yourself, boom, be that person.
Those I'll be taking that first tip. I'll be taking it to heart, but I'll definitely be sharing that with my group. So you can either have excuses or you can have results. You can't have both. I
Hey,
like
man. Yeah, pick one of them.
that. um, so right now, what are some words of wisdom? Maybe someone that may hear this when this episode releases, or maybe a year from now when someone happens to find this episode. What are some words of wisdom that you can provide our audience?
I think just, think about what you want to get done and then put down what do I got to do to get there and stay the course. It's so easy just to, what, it didn't work. And most of the time, you just didn't stay the course. Keep at it. Yeah, a lot of people I talk to, hey, man, they need to lose some weight, for example. That ain't easy. And it's a long term scenario. I told a gal the other day, I say, hey, let's talk about what it'll be next New Year's. You know, it's January now. Let's talk about next, not next month, next New Year's. Just stay the course, doing the right things and good things like that. It will happen for you. It'll happen for you. Same thing if you're lifting weights, you're trying to get stronger, right? I mean, hey, you go in there 3 times a week, work hard at it, it's gonna happen. It will happen. You know, going in there for a couple weeks and you know what, nothing's happening yet. It will. It's coming, man. It's coming. Just stay the course. I think in most things that is what it is. You know, it is in wrestling, but it is in almost everything we do. Academically, if you're in music, whatever it might be, just even when it's hard, man, just the people that are steady, the people that just keep with it are the ones that will see really good results.
That's the truth. I think people just
Yeah,
give up too
and
quickly.
it's too easy to get. It's so easy just to it didn't work. No, man, it did work. You just giving up too soon.
Yeah.
Stay with it, bro. Stay
Yep.
with it, and good things will happen.
That's great.
Yeah.
Um, so right now, what are some what are some upcoming projects? It seems like you always got something going on. What are some upcoming projects that you may be brewing on?
I mean, one things we do here is honor people that have helped make the sport great. We're doing that. We're going to be at every event coming up. Girls state tournament, boys state tournament, D3 tournament, D1 tournament, and our presence. You know, Dan Gable's been great. You probably know a little bit about him. He's been great working with us in the museum. But there's a guy that he's 72 years old, man. He's still out there inspiring people, and he's probably more popular now than he's ever been, and Olympic gold medalist, so forth. But and that's kind of what we try to do is just lift people up, and no matter what they're doing. And right now in our community, Waterloo, Iowa, we're trying to help our young people in whatever sport they're doing. Hey, man, the same thing I just talked about. Stay with it. Let's go out for the sport. Let's stay out for the sport. And you know what? In middle school and high school, that's a big thing. Go out for the sport. Stay out for the sport, and good things will happen. We lose so many at some point in there, and obviously you're not gonna get better if you're not there, if you're not out for the sport. So, uh, and that applies to every whatever activity someone might be in.
So right now, how can people reach out to you for any kind of media inquiries, speaking
Yeah.
engagements, purchasing a book? How can people reach out to you?
Well, here's the book. There's the Do It Anyway.
Uh,
Uh, the website is CoachJimMillerSpeaking.com. CoachJimMillerSpeaking.com. And on that website, you can get the book. Just go to shop and you can get the book. And there's also, you can leave contact. Hey, contact me, give me a call back or whatever. I'm also on Twitter, Coach Millboy, Milboy, Coach Millboy. I'm on there. So that's another way a lot of people get a hold of me. But no, man, it's been, I appreciate being on the journey, man, the creative journey. Appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you. Um, Once again, hey, please check out everything he's got going on. The book, Do It Anyway, it's out. I highly suggest anyone that's in the corporate space, coaches, leaders, anyone, read this book, and I guarantee you, you will find you'll find all kinds of insights and tips and things that you can incorporate in your own in your own life. Me personally, I'm not, besides being a coach, I'm a graphic designer. I do branding. I'm a entrepreneur. So even seeing this, it helps me to incorporate certain things that I need to be doing as far as helping to run my business and do the hard things. Do it anyway.
Do the hard
Uh,
things. Yeah.
and that's something I've been trying to tell myself more is I've got to get the emotions out of the way. Just do it anyway. Stay the course, like you talked about. So please get a chance. He's on Facebook, Twitter. Get a chance to check him out. Check out his book. I think you'll be very pleased. Once again, this has been another awesome episode with me, your show host, Quantel Langford, with Coach Miller, Millboy, as they call him. And once again, this has been another episode of The Creative Brew. Be creative, stay inspired.